Halloween night had descended on the small town like a thick blanket. Streetlights flickered against the fog, casting long shadows across empty sidewalks. Most kids were laughing, their costumes rustling as they darted door to door. Among them was Eli, a quiet boy wearing a cracked, hand-painted Halloween mask, a mask that had belonged to his late mother. The mask was old, its paint faded, but to Eli it was magical. It hid his face, hiding the scars he'd carried since an accident the year before. While other kids ran in groups, teasing and joking, Eli preferred the quiet corners, letting the mask give him courage. This year, he'd dressed as a ghostly knight. His costume was homemade, stitched together from old sheets and scraps of fabric, and the mask hid his face perfectly. At first, he thought no one would notice him. He was wrong. At the school's Halloween party, a group of older boys spotted him. "Hey, freak," one sneered, snatching the mask off Eli's face. Laughter erupted. The scars on his cheeks and chin were visible, and Eli felt his chest tighten. His hands shook. "A W, look at that," another boy jeered. "You look like a monster without it." The whispers and jeers followed him like shadows. Eli tried to push past them, but one boy grabbed his shoulder and shoved him to the floor. Pain shot through his knees. Tears stung his eyes, but he did not fight back. He bolted out of the hall, darting into the foggy streets. The laughter behind him faded, replaced by an eerie silence. The town seemed different at night, almost alive. The fog curling around lampposts like ghostly fingers. Eli's chest heaved. He clutched the cracked mask in his hands, whispering to himself, "Mom, I wish they could see me like you did." The streets were empty, but the shadows seemed to shift as he ran. Then he noticed something. The fog wasn't just fog. It moved unnaturally, curling around the lampposts and street signs as if alive. Eli paused, shivering. The mask he held felt heavier than before, almost pulsing with energy. He pressed it to his face instinctively. "Stay back," he whispered. From the distance, faint footsteps echoed. He turned. The group of bullies had followed him. "We're not done with you, freak," one hissed, his voice unnaturally low. Eli swallowed his fear, hiding behind a tree. His heartbeat thundered in his ears. Then, as he tightened his grip on the mask, a strange warmth spread across his hands. The painted eyes on the mask glimmered faintly in the fog. He lifted the mask and placed it over his face. The world shifted. The shadows lengthened unnaturally. The fog thickened. He felt different, strong, alive. The bullies approached, laughing nervously. "Where'd he go?" one muttered. They scanned the fog, and then the shadows shifted. Around them, forming shapes, tall, skeletal figures that seemed to flicker in and out of existence. One bully reached forward to grab Eli. A sudden gust of wind threw him backward. The mask glowed brighter, and the air around Eli seemed charged with a dark energy. "What the f—" another shouted, but before he could react, he felt cold hands grip his ankles. Shadows twisted and pulled him into the fog. Screams echoed, swallowed almost immediately by the night. Eli watched from behind the tree, heart pounding but calm. The bullies were gone, but something had followed him from the mask. It was as if the mask had remembered the cruelty, had chosen its own way to defend its wearer. He ran to the town square, empty now, save for the glowing jack-o'-lanterns flickering eerily. The mask seemed to hum softly against his skin, a heartbeat of something ancient, protective, and terrifying. He realized the truth. The mask wasn't just a piece of cloth and paint. It was alive. It had absorbed the sorrow, the fear, and now it was exacting justice. Hours passed. Eli returned home just before midnight. The streets were silent. The party had ended. Lights flickered in the distance, but no one mentioned the missing boys. The town awoke the next day to an uneasy calm. The bullies were gone. No one knew where. No one knew how. At school the next morning, whispers filled the halls. Teachers and students alike spoke in hushed tones. They vanished last night, someone said. Vanished. Eli remained silent, hiding his face behind the mask. He walked past the empty lockers where the bullies had once taunted him. Feeling neither guilt nor joy, only a sense of dark, quiet relief. That night he placed the mask on his shelf. Its painted eyes glimmered faintly, as if satisfied. Eli knew that some things, like courage, didn't come from fighting back. Sometimes they came from letting the mask do its work, from letting justice find its own way. Halloween never looked the same to him again. Every year, when the fog rolled in and the jack-o'-lanterns flickered, he remembered the night the bullies vanished, and the night he discovered that courage sometimes has a life of its own, and somewhere in the shadows, the mask waited, patient, alive, and hungry for justice.